Foreign direct investment is one of the ways developing countries can capitalize on in growing their economy. With elections on the horizon, Canada-Ghana Chamber, in collaboration with partner chambers, organized an interactive session with the President's aspirant for National Democratic Congress (NDC). This session focused on the candidate's strategies for foreign direct investment and his implementation for businesses here in Ghana. As a member of the Canada-Ghana Chamber, I had the opportunity to ask His Excellency John Dramani Mahama this question.
Good evening. My name is Priscilla from Canada-Ghana Chamber. My question is, I've had a couple of conversations with some foreign investors who came to Ghana to do business. And the issue was that they complained bitterly about our cedi fluctuation. They complained bitterly about the policies, some of the policies we have in this country. They complain bitterly about how they struggle going through middlemen to get a lot of things like registration of their businesses. Taxes in this country is eating them up. Now this brings me to my question. My question is, how will your administration, Your Excellency, address potential concerns from foreign investors regarding regulatory and political stability? And secondly, what steps will you take to ensure that the foreign direct investments are distributed equitably across different regions and sectors? Thank you.
Thank you. That is two questions in one. The first one is how we can ease doing business so that foreign investors are able to do things, more directly without having to go through middlemen. In the past, we had what we call the Gateway Secretariat, and we measured all the state agencies that were providing services to business by how quick they were able to respond. And I think that brought Ghana to the #1 position in the ease of doing business in West Africa. Unfortunately, since that time, we have backslided. Today, we're no longer the #1 in West Africa in ease of doing business. We need to work our way back to be able to reach that position. And so we must start a monitoring mechanism where we test from time to time how quickly these things happen, how quickly is a business registered, and we give feedback to the Registrar General and say that, look, somebody wanted to register a business and this is how long they took them. And I remember the Gateway, during the time of the Gateway's Secretariat, they used to get a feedback from immigration. If people arrived at the airport, how quickly they were cleared through immigration, and if they wanted to, whatever they wanted to do with government, how quickly they were able to get access to the services that were required. We need to begin to monitor again so that we're able to get all the government agencies working at par. Now there's a whole plethora of people they call Goro boys, who you have to go and see and give a little something, and in the shortest possible time they will get you what you're looking for. But if you go yourself, you would be frustrated until you give up and go to a Goro boy, and then suddenly what you were looking for, you get it at once. It is a whole culture of bribery, and there are people in those agencies who get a part of what the Goro boys are getting. They don't do it for free, they do it and they go and give a part of it to whoever are benefiting. So we need to begin the monitoring again. If it means bringing back the Gateway Secretariat to monitor in real time how government agencies are responding to requests for services from business, is something that we need to look at. And what was the next question? I didn't write it down, unfortunately.
Your Excellency, the next question was, what steps will you take to ensure that the foreign direct investments are distributed equitably in the various regions and sectors?
That is important, and for many years we have had incentives for foreign investors to pan out across the country. And so, for instance, we have an incentive where you have tax holidays for investors who invest in a rural district or a rural area or some part of the country. Unfortunately, until we get our act together, people are going to find it difficult to go to other places because one, you have logistical issues to look at. Two, you need to look at sources of raw material. Three, you need to look at reliability of and access to enough power. You need to look at access to water and all that. And normally, you would get the best reliability in terms of power, in terms of water, in terms of logistics, close to the capital. And that is why the majority of businesses cluster around the capital. But until we spread out, the incentives for them to be able to do it, put in the railway lines, put in the highways so that you're able to move goods and services fast across our country, you can give the best tax incentives. You're not going to get people to move to other places. And that's why infrastructure comes in. And that's why we're talking about the big push, that over the next 5 years, we want to invest $2 billion a year into infrastructure, especially economic infrastructure, to open up the roads, so that goods and services can move, to invest in the railways so that people can move, products across the country seamlessly, to be able to strengthen the supply of electricity to all parts of the country, to make sure that more water is available to all our major regional capitals, so that whoever goes to invest there will not be disadvantaged because they invested there. And so it comes with improving the infrastructure, and it's not only tax incentives that will let them move there, but it's also strengthening the infrastructural and logistical support that will let people go and invest in other parts of the country. You cannot force a foreign direct investor and match him to Bole, my hometown, to go and invest there when he does not have enough electricity power, he does not have enough water, he doesn't have a good road to evacuate his products. And so it will be improving the infrastructure in addition to incentives, that will make people pan out across the country. But we need to do that because once we don't do that, we create a lopsided development. And that is why everybody is trooping to Accra. And the social services and economic services are no longer able to sustain the huge population increase in Accra. And so we need to look at other places. I've talked about a new city, which will be somewhere in the confluence of Eastern Region, Volta, and Greater Accra. And there will be the Volta River, running through the city. There will be a fast transport link between Accra and the city, and it will be a smart city. It will have an industrial hub, so that we move some of the development out of Accra, not only Tema and other places, but move it a bit more inward and create an opportunity. It will be a tourism hub. We'll put all the amusement parks and water parks and hotels and everything, so that people will come from different African countries and also come to enjoy the hospitality of Ghana.